So when Longer delivered my B1 30-watt laser, unfortunately the auto air assist was not working, so I had to diagnose the fault on my own. I have now learnt that they have a diagnostic chart which I'll try and link below, but this short video shows you the procedure I went through to find the error that I had on my equipment. It turned out to be an unsoldered wire, so it was a really simple fix. Get my air pump up and working again, and having the automatic air assist really does make it a pleasure to use. I hope you find use of the video. If you do, drop me a comment, I always answer them, and if you want to show your appreciation, why not tick that like button while you're down there.
Okay, to test whether we've got 24 volts coming out of this terminal here, you do need a voltmeter, or this is actually a multimeter, so it does various different things. They're relatively cheap. You can pick them up anywhere, Amazon, your big box store. So what I'm going to do, I've set up a very basic square. I put it on the screen, set to engrave at a very low speed at 0 power. So that's going to turn on the laser head but not shine any light out of it, and it should activate this 2 prongs in here, and we're going to check 24 volts. Be very careful. You do need insulated tips. I'll put a photo on the screen what that looks like, but what you need to do, you need to touch these 2 probes onto the 2 pins in there. So let me just do that. I'm just going to start the laser. It started, so now I'm going to check 24 volts. So that's 1 pin there. And I get 23.68 volts. So that's proving to me that this is sending out a signal. So now I need to look further into the actual air pump itself. So what I'm going to do first of all, you can actually hear my pump running, because yeah, I know my pump works, but this is the fault finding process you need to go through. So first of all, I'm going to check whether you've got 24 volts coming in from the connection on the side of the control box into this control box. Now, the leads are marked brown and blue, so blue is going to be negative, and red is going to be positive. And there you go, 23.64 volts, same as I got from the terminals. So the next thing to do is check the other side of the control box. Now, what I'm expecting, these chips here, I think they are MOSFETs, I believe, and that must be switching the signal, the DC signal, to make it like an alternating way to allow the transformers to shuttle back and forwards inside the air pump. So I'm not expecting to see 24 volts here, but I am expecting to see a signal. So I'm doing positive on the brown and black on the blue. So just be very careful. So on the screen, you can see it's fluctuating between a positive and a negative signal. And because it's doing it so quickly, it's only registering a low voltage. But that's good enough for our tests. That's proving that this gadget is sending power into the air pump. So the cover only goes on one way. This is inlet. That is outlet, and the Longer laser, the Longer logo goes the correct way up. So if you just slip it on, it goes on, and then put your screws back in. Okay, when you remove the 4 bolts out the bottom of the pump, there is a not so delicate rubber washer. Just take that off. And what this does, it reveals the transformers which make this white shuttle backwards and forwards. Now, it has the incoming brown wire, incoming from here, connected top right, and then there's the negative wire, the blue wire, connecting over here, bottom right, and then there's a link wire between the two transformers here and here. Now, my pump actually arrived dead on arrival, and the fault I found was that this brown wire at the top left was disconnected. So in transport, it had become unsoldered. So what I had to do, I had to solder that wire on. So what I recommend is you can give these a visual look, but just give them a little wiggle to make sure they're on. And that's how you do your visual test. If one comes off, then you're going to have to solder it back on. If you haven't got a soldering iron, I'm sure one of your friends locally has one, or go to a local television repair shop and they will just solder that back on for you. But to, again, if you check the voltage, you're here, and on the negative, you'll get the same reading as you did when we was looking at the control box. So you can see the voltage is flicking very quickly between positive and negative, and that's obviously my pump running. Now, if you're not getting any voltage there, then the control box, this control box will be faulty. However, mine's working perfectly, so I'm going to stop the laser. Just going to put that all back together. And there we are, all complete again. So now you ask, Andy, what happens if I'm not getting any voltage out of the control box? Well, let me take you into that step. So I'm going to have to hold the camera on this one. So this is the cable that the pump is connected to. Now, if you look under here, it does get a bit crowded under here. Those two white pins, one there and one there, are part of the air pump wire. Now, I can't quite, yeah, you can just see there is a little daughter board where those two plugs are, something to do with the air assist module. So this one that we plugged into goes on the left hand side, so you need to make sure that's correctly in. The one on the right hand side then comes out and it loops all the way up back through the hole, and you can see it's connected there and it says air, and these have the red glue on, so they shouldn't come out. But that's the final thing to check that everything's connected to. Now, Longer have got a my air pump is not working diagnostic sheet, and I'll link that in the bottom of the video. And these are the tests that you have to do, because technical support will ask you to do them, because you need to diagnose whether it's the main board, which is this part here, the daughter board, which is that part there, or the air pump itself. So to get to that wiring, you've just got to take this plate off, just these 4 bolts, and that reveals the wiring. So while you're under here, you can check that your Wi-Fi antenna is securely fastened, which mine is. Then just in here, point of interest, the right hand module there is the IR sensor. If you look underneath there, you see the little black bulb coming through, and then this is the accelerometer, which detects whether you've tilted your frame. So that's it. So I hope you found this video of use, and I hope you've got your air pump working by finding a simple connection that's come unplugged or a wire that's come unsoldered. If it hasn't got your air pump working, then you now know what to pass on to technical, so they can diagnose what part to send you. So I really hope this video has helped you run through the diagnostic checks that Longer Technical will ask you to do, and I really hope that you found some simple disconnect
plug or unsold wire that's got you up and running quickly. However, if it hasn't, unfortunately technical will have to send you a replacement part. But now you know what they will ask you to do in order for them to diagnose whether they need to send you a whole new board, a new daughter board which is under this plate, or a new air pump. Anyway, that's Andy as ever, wishing you a great afternoon. Continue to make that safe, happy smoke, and perhaps you'll join me in my next video. Cheers for now. Thank you for making it to the end of my videos, much appreciated. If you like what I'm doing and I've earned your trust and respect, perhaps you would consider subscribing. If you leave a comment, I will answer them as well, and if you give me a thumbs up, it will put a smile on my face. Perhaps you would like some of the videos popping up now. See you in the next one.